Hello, St. Therese. This is Adam Groebner here. I am the principal of St. Therese Catholic School. And as you know, this Lent, St. Therese Parish is providing reflections each week on different virtues and then, of course, their vice. So it is my pleasure to come to you this week with a reflection on the virtue of charity, or its vice, greed. So here at St. Therese School, we have a Virtues and Practice program, and it's brought to us by the Nashville Dominican Sisters. And so each month our students learn about a different virtue and saints that exemplify that virtue and how to live that virtue in their own lives. And our overall theme last year was actually the virtue of charity. So our students learned that charity is loving God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, and loving your neighbor as yourself. And they learned that St. Paul tells us that charity is the greatest of the virtues, and that St. John tells us that God is charity, and those who live in charity live in God. Charity compels us to give our every thought, our every word, and our every deed to God out of love for Him, and to care for each person that we meet as we would Christ Himself. If we look at how we treat the people who aren't our best friends, maybe the people who irritate or bother us, the way we treat them shows how much or how little love we have for God in our hearts. And then, of course, on the flip side, we have the vice of greed. And when I think about greed, I think about this, one of my favorite parts in the movie Finding Nemo, the flock of seagulls sitting on the rock together, and anytime they see any food, a fish or a crab, they just start shouting, "Mine, mine, 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 mine." And so, of course, when we think of greed, we think about just thinking of ourselves and what we want, and greed is that excessive desire to acquire or possess more than what one needs or deserves, and often it's around material wealth. And of course it can be more than or beyond material things. If you feel that you deserve more of anything in life than someone else, that is greed. You certainly can want to be successful or have material things in your life, and that does not necessarily mean that you're greedy. But when you want more and more just because you want it, or you want more than anyone else around you, then that is living in greed. So, as you may know, this Lent, our parish is working on limiting screen time. So we're focusing on screen time. So how do charity and greed apply in our lives to screen time? So when I think about that, I think it's totally connected to charity and greed. First of all, when you are engaged in a screen, it's often a solo or individual activity. So you are likely isolating yourself from others, and likely God as well. You are not allowing yourself to fully know nor fully love God or your neighbor. A charitable person would put away the device and engage with, love, and serve those around them. Secondly, when I think of screens, I think of social media. And social media can be a very dangerous tool that often forces people of all ages to compare themselves to other people. They then might turn inward and focus heavily on their looks or material possessions. This is definitely trending towards greed over charity. So, St. Therese, my advice this Lent is to put down the devices, let go of the screens, and focus on your family, friends, classmates, and those around you. Let the love of God shine through you as you love your neighbor as yourself. All right, thanks for listening. I'm praying for you all, and I hope you have a wonderful and fruitful Lent.